Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and share an update to a story that I did on my channel. It was with a young lady who I spoke about doing these meals for Puerto Rico. It was a FEMA contract that was completely botched. And this is in no way to make this young lady feel... This is in no way to, discredit or really just make fun of or scrutinize this young lady who had this contract. She was supposed to deliver 30 million meals to Puerto Rico with self-heating package or self-heating devices. She was only able to deliver 50,000 of those meals, and they were not, they didn't have any type of self-heating devices connected to them. And if you were military or if you go hiking, you've heard of MREs, which is meal ready something. But basically, something where a person can get a meal and then it heats. And she wasn't able to deliver that. And that was probably, I believe, back in 2018. And she's from Atlanta. And there were a lot of details that were shared in the previous video that I did. But there has been an update. I wasn't even looking for it. But as of January 24th, 2025, she was actually found guilty of defrauding the government. And of course, it says a former government contractor convicted of defrauding FEMA and Georgia-based litigation funding company. So let's just take a read here. Following an 8-day trial, Tiffany Brown was found guilty by a jury of defrauding the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, in connection with nearly $156 million contract she was awarded to provide self-heating meals to the residents of Puerto Rico in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, fraudulently obtaining $700,000 in litigation advances from the Litigation Funding Group of Georgia. Okay, so this is the part that I didn't know, that she was able to get in advance. So by falsely claiming that she had settled with a logistics company who failed to deliver the meals to FEMA. So I didn't know this part. I don't think was actually explained in the original story. So she was able to get a $700,000 advance. I've talked about advances a couple of times on my channel, so you can ask. I'm not sure Litigation Funding Group of Georgia. I'm not sure who that is. Maybe I'll look it up to see who that actually is and how they're connected, and if it's just a company that advances money, or is it a government agency that helps or something like that. I'm not sure. So Brown resorted to extraordinary lengths to defraud FEMA during a critical period when individuals were in desperate need of food resources during the devastation aftermath of Hurricane Maria, said acting U.S. Attorney. Along with our law enforcement partners, will remain vigilant in pursuing and prosecuting individuals who exploit the devastation caused by natural disasters as an opportunity to commit fraud. Now, this is one of the reasons, not because I want to be fraudulent, but one of the reasons I don't like what's called emergency contracts, because people will send me stuff all the time saying, oh, you're doing these emergency services, or there's a natural disaster, you should do it. I'll do emergency disaster contracts only if it's not like an emergency. And I say that it sounds crazy, but it's because I don't want to, if there's a hurricane or a tornado or something where trees fall down and we have 24 hours to get out there and clean it all up. I don't like that because I use subcontractors. We don't have employees that are like on call and ready to go for that type of service. And that makes me nervous, especially in the areas where there's usually disasters, and the Metro Atlanta area is not usually going to have disasters. So it's going to be along the coast. It's going to be near the water, that type of thing. So I'm good with like rebuilding. If something gets knocked down, then we'll bring, we'll put the fencing up or something like that. It's not that I like emergency situations. With emergency contracts, I want to make sure that I am not jumping to action and not having a good plan. And clearly this young lady did not have a good plan. So moving on with this, we will continue to investigate and support the prosecution of fraudsters who target vulnerable populations for their own gains. So Brown greedily deceived the federal government during a natural disaster to enrich herself. Acting, okay, blah, blah, blah. This person said to pursue any, they're making an example out of her is what I'm getting out of that. So let me see if there's more that we can read. So according to the U.S. Attorney, the charges and other information presented in court, this is actually 2017, not 2018, excuse me. Hurricane Maria made a landfall Category 4 hurricane in Puerto Rico. In its wake, FEMA issued a solicitation for 40 million self-heating meals per week. Per week? Wait a minute. Issued a solicitation for 40 million self-heating meals per week. Whoa! To deliver to the island. Meals requiring a microwave or an external heating source, such as for boiling water, were unacceptable. FEMA issued the meal solicitation because it had exhausted its existing supply of self-heating meals from its own warehouses, primary vendors, and federal agency partners in responding to Hurricanes Harvey and Irma, both Category 4 hurricanes that impacted Texas, Louisiana, and U.S. Virgin Islands. So they basically, what they're saying is that they used all their vendors and they put out a solicitation. So I asked, even in the video that I did, how did sis even get this? Because she wasn't a company that had, she had already been on the blacklist for one, I think twice, 2 or 3 times. And she didn't have a warehouse. She was basically a business of one. And I think they're probably going to talk about it in this. I haven't read this yet. This is my first time reading it. But they're probably going to blame FEMA for this as well, at least a portion of it, because this is a big deal. And to give it all to one contractor for one, someone that they didn't even check to see if this person was even a good business, because she was on the blacklist already for the federal government. And she did all different types of businesses. This is all the things that were brought up at that time, that she had like a clothing business and some other stuff. This is the stuff that they look at that people think, oh, I'm just going to deliver stuff to the government, whatever they need. It's $100 million worth of problems. Even though you feel like you might have gotten a lot of money, you have to deliver, and you have to deliver flawlessly, especially with something so important as people eating. Moving forward, Brown submitted a proposal. Who did her proposal? That's what I want to know. Submitted to FEMA, falsely representing that her Georgia-based company, Tribute Contracting, could provide the necessary self-heating meals. In doing so, Brown misrepresented that Tribute could deliver 10 million meals per day. Yo, sis has some cojones, yo. She has some cojones. I can't even get mad. I didn't even know these specific details, okay? 10 million meals per day, utilizing 210 trucks, would provide 300,000 meals pre-positioned, and had partnered with C.H. Robinson, a major shipping and logistics broker, to meet FEMA's delivery requirements. That's crazy. Woo, this is a lot. Okay. But Tribute was incapable of delivering 10 million meals, never pre-positioned any meals, and did not have the claimed partnership. So this is what I be telling y'all. You be lying, and then when it's time to deliver, what's going to happen? And then now the ish has hit the fan, and they're bringing this up. They're putting her, they're bringing out the details. She said she had a partnership that she didn't really have to try to make it work. Now, again, we all try to do the best we can as contractors, as business owners. So sometimes you got to, what do they say, fake it till you make it. I don't really like fake it till you make it, but it's more like, okay, I'm going to embellish a little bit. But if I know I don't have this partnership, I need to figure it out. And clearly, so far, reading into this, she had not quite figured it out. A FEMA contracting officer spoke with Brown after receiving Tribute's proposal. The contracting officer knew that U.S.-based manufacturers could not produce the number of meals that Brown claimed in her proposal. In response, Brown falsely represented that she was procuring the self-heating meals from Action Meals, a Canadian manufacturer. Brown sent FEMA a doctored image of an Action Meal package with a fraudulent expiration date. This is when it all hits the fan, y'all. Jeez. Based on her conversation with the contracting officer, Brown submitted a revised proposal falsely representing that she had firm confirmation from her core suppliers for 30 million self-heating meals in 30 days. Whew. Wow. That's 1 million meals a day for those who have lost track. And that she could begin delivering 1 million meals a day beginning October 7th, 2017. On October 3rd, FEMA awarded Tribute and Brown a $155,982,000 contract requiring the delivery of 30 million self-heating meals between October 7th and October 23rd. So really, it was less than 30 days. The delivery of 30 million self-heating meals between October 7th and October 23rd. FEMA had to confirm that Tribute's proposed meal was technically acceptable before approving the delivery. FEMA approved Brown's proposal in part because it understood that Brown would deliver self-heating meals manufactured by Action Meals. Unbeknownst to FEMA, Brown had not secured a supplier when she was awarded the FEMA contract. After being awarded the contract, Brown repeatedly misrepresented to FEMA the status of her suppliers and timing of delivery. So with that, I guess FEMA's not in trouble because they did call and ask, and she lied to them. So even if the contracting officer knew better, she lied to them. So that's the main point of this litigation I can see. Moving on October 19, 2017, FEMA terminated its contract. Moving on October 19, 2017, FEMA terminated its contract with Brown and Tribute. Before doing so, however, FEMA paid Brown $255,000 based on her submission of fraudulent invoices and bills of ladings, I don't know what that word is, claiming that she had successfully delivered 50,000 self-heating meals. Brown, in fact, had delivered 50,000 non-compliant dehydrated meals. After FEMA terminated the contract, Brown continued making false representations to FEMA. For example, Brown submitted fraudulent invoices in December 2017 and June 2019, claiming to have purchased tens of thousands of dollars in heaters. I think I remember in the video, her video with the news, where she had like a little container, what's it called? Like a storage container, like a pod, or like the Connex for my military folks. So she had some, but it wasn't even full. It was just like hip height. So, clearly that's not enough. That's not $1 million for sure, let alone 30 million. So in March 2019, Brown falsely represented that LFG that she had a tentative $5 million settlement with the logistics company, TQL. Brown claimed that TQL was willing to settle with her because it failed to timely deliver meals to FEMA, which she claimed was the reason FEMA terminated her contract. In truth, TQL obtained a default judgment against Brown for unpaid deliveries. This is crazy. Let me make sure I'm reading what's important. To secure the fraudulent litigation financing, Brown provided LFG, that's the finance company, with a mix of actual and fabricated documents. For instance, she provided the real FEMA contract but fraudulent tentative settlement agreement and fabricated emails between TQL's general counsel and Jerry Rosenstein, Tribute's purported in-house counsel. Brown further perpetrated the fraud by using her attorney to create the illusion that she was a successful government contractor who was negotiating directly with TQL. Brown later falsely claimed she settled with TQL for $6.5 million, which she evidenced by an agreement that TQL's CEO supposedly signed. The scheme unraveled. These words. The scheme unraveled when TQL did not pay the $6.5 million, and Brown's attorney received an email from a James Wilson who was supposedly an in-house attorney at TQL. James Wilson wrote that he was willing to release the settlement funds in exchange for $500,000. Investigators later determined that Brown was responsible for creating the fake Jerry Rosenstein and James Wilson personas. Sis, it went from bad to worse. I gotta say, maybe she tried, I guess. Tiffany Brown, 45, of Atlanta, Georgia, is scheduled to be sentenced. April 22nd, 2025 at 10 a.m. Damn, that's so sad. Thomas W. Oh, who is this? Okay. District Judge Thomas W. Thrash Jr. Brown was found guilty by a federal jury on January 17, 2025, of 11 counts of major disaster fraud, 17 counts of wire fraud, 1 count of theft of government money, and 3 counts of money laundering. No, sis! No! This is so sad. This is so sad. I'm going to highlight this because this is really sad. Yikes. Okay. This case has been investigated by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Office of Inspector General, and the Federal Bureau of... So the FBI, all the alphabet boys, with valuable assistance from FEMA. So the moral of the story is, don't write a check that your ass can't cash. If you're going to fabricate, if you're going to embellish, just don't. Just don't. Not when it's going to put you in orange. And she's going to be in orange. Because she's in Georgia. She's going to be in orange. And that's sad. Hopefully, maybe they'll have some sympathy on her, but with her actual, what time she's actually facing. But it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Like, just the 1 count of theft of government money might send her packing for real. So, yeah, just wanted to share this because, you know, it was something that I had talked about on my channel, and I just happened to look up because I was looking for my actual video to put in a link somewhere, and this popped up. So this is super fresh, hot off the press. So until next time, guys, be safe and stop the cap. Stop lying. It's your favorite veteran. Peace out.